All right, it looks like we are live. I'm about to check on my end. Let me mute my computer. Make sure we're in Money Squad. But I'm excited. Rachel, thank you so much for taking time to do this.
It's my pleasure.
It's going to be awesome. Okay, let me see. Make sure we're live. Yeah, we're live now in the Money Squad. Okay, this is going to be great. So if you are watching live, just go ahead and say hello to us. I'll be manning the page. If you are watching the replay, hashtag replay so we know you're getting all the juice. But my name is Travia Gray. I'm a diamond on the Money Squad. I've been in the business for 5 years. And this is Rachel. We're going to get all into her business. I'll have her introduce herself. But honestly, this was something that was on my heart to do. And I had basically prolonged the process. I was not being obedient. I didn't ask the first time it came to mind. But in this season, I guess it's needed. It's needed before we end the year. And I really wanted to do an interview, Rachel, where we get all in your business. Okay. The real, the raw, the uncut, those burning desire questions that people kind of have, but they either sugarcoat it a little bit or they don't ask. Okay. So let's go ahead and kick it off. We're live in the Money Squad. I don't want this to be too long so we can get straight to the juicy stuff. But Rachel, if you could just introduce yourself, for YouTube and everybody else who's going to be watching the replay, who you are and all that.
Hi, yes, Rachel Wiggum, and yes, I'm eating my homemade Chipotle bowl. So
Yeah, period.
we finna eat my food, right? We're gonna talk about me later, but it's all good. Anyways, so yes, for the many people who may not know who I am, my name is Rachel Wiggum, Ambassador Diamond with It Works Global, meaning I've hit the top rank in the company. Been here 7.5 years. Mom of 3 boys. Actually, just got test scores back for my oldest, and he is actually testing at the senior level across the board.
Oh my goodness.
So he's at the 12th grade level across the board, and he is 14 years old. So we're excited about that. Got something to celebrate today. I have a 3-year-old and a 14-month-old dog husband. Been married to him for 6.5 years, and we've been together for 12 years. And so he's held me down since I've started this business. So
yes,
I don't know what all you would like to know, and so I'm just going to be here for the questions.
Yeah. Just take the questions, okay?
Yes.
If I ever look off, I'm looking in the chat here, but I'm excited. This is about to be lit. So, the first question is, why did you start this business? And if you've heard Rachel's story, you know the story about the party and hearing that. So let's dig a little deeper. Like, what actually made you sign up? Being a single mom, hearing how much it was to get started. Were there any reservations? Like, were you nervous? Like, what was your frame of mind at that time?
So I decided to say yes. Okay. So here's the thing. I went to the party. Hey, you go downstairs and play basketball.
And the tap's gone.
Trey's downstairs. Go play basketball.
Can we go downstairs and get the tap?
Yeah.
Love it. He's so sweet.
Okay. So go ahead, baby. I'll be here. So I decided to say yes and actually sign up. Let me see if I can close this door. Because hold on, y'all. I'm sorry.
I see y'all in the chat. Y'all are lighting it up. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
All right, sorry. So I decided to say yes. I actually decided to sign up because at the party I was intrigued. I didn't sign up at the party. I was invited to a party, did not sign up at the party. I didn't have the money. And I didn't have the money I didn't have it. I'm not somebody who, I'm solution focused, but I'm smart. And so I knew that I was waiting on a refund from school, like within any day. And so I knew I just was going to sign up whenever the refund hit my account. So I did talk to a few friends and family, and I didn't hear no overwhelming support or anything like that. But when I heard that lady was making $15,000 a month, and I went on the website and started looking around, started looking around, and I was like, okay, they got all this stuff. Like, they got, the training set up. It's actually, because I had tried something from home maybe about 2 years, but prior to that. but it was not like I couldn't get how to make money. Like I couldn't understand it. Like it was so weird, and I couldn't understand it. But this I could understand. It was really straightforward. Like you put people in the system, you sell your wraps, you can have parties, whatever. It was really straightforward. So the reason why I decided to just say yes, period. Well, my mind was already made up. Like after the party, my mind was made up. Regardless of what everybody said, I was gonna figure it out. I was gonna figure it out. I was gonna figure it out because there was no way this lady was making $15,000 a month and I couldn't make 500. Like that was just it for me. Like it was like if she's making that much money as a mom, a wife with 2 kids, then I can make $500 like easily. So that was kind of where my brain was, and that's why I decided I was signing up. So I was just waiting for my refund to hit, and so when my refund hit, just like I would go spend like $500-600 on clothes, like I decided to invest in my business, and so I boosted it and everything.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And I want to get more into this. So now, like on the other side, looking in, what do you see with most like prospects? So, right, when you're prospecting for the business and you have somebody who's interested and that $99 is their fear or barrier, like how do you overcome that? And how do you discern like, is this somebody that is ready for this opportunity or that I really want to take on, that mentor role with them?
Hey, to be honest, I don't care who signs because they're going to show you their true colors, and you just have to believe who they are. You have to believe where they are, but you still have to believe in them because that's your job. You have to believe where they are, but you have to believe in them because that's your job. Now, just because you believe in somebody does not mean you wait around in order to succeed in your own business. And so that was really key for me. The $99 is nothing. Like I said, I knew I wanted to sign up. So when somebody listens, they know if they want to sign up or not. The question is, will they be solution focused enough to find the money if they don't have it? That's the biggest thing. They know whether they want to sign or not. It's the same thing with talking to potential loyal customers. Ain't no I'll think about it. They 9 times out of 10, they just don't have the money and they're trying to see if it's worth the sacrifice or how they can get the money without being embarrassed or whatever. So it's not a matter of getting people to pay the 99 because people will spend money on things that they don't have money for because they feel like it's worth it. Just like, I mean, let's just be honest, like all the concerts that Brianna and I went to, like, bruh, we spent so much money on concert tickets. And I'm talking about before it works. I was sitting around like, I was looking at Christmas when my son was 6, so however many years ago that was, 8 years ago, girl, this boy got a Wii U, a DS3, games, all that. I'm like, bro, you was broke. How did you come up with the money for this stuff? People will find money for the things that they want.
Facts. Yeah, I'm sitting here just thinking about all the stuff I didn't spend money on and didn't have the money. But that's so true. That's so true. So this next question I have, and I think it's from someone who's a mom, being a wife, being a mother, and a business owner requires juggling and sometimes overlap because your business is on social media, you're on your phone. We know that you often use do not disturb. We know that you are very scheduled. But what other strategies do you use to help you live in the moment and be present as a wife and a mother while maintaining your business?
So I do a lot of blocking, but I think it's just a heightened sense of awareness.
I agree.
So, for example, like I've given him a lot of time today, and I'm not saying, he might need some more time. I'm not saying it's like calculated, but he's gotten a lot of time. I put my phone away after capturing it for the gram. He done made 5 pictures. Y'all saw one. He made 5. So he done had his glue session and all that jazz. So I give them attention, but I prioritize my business. You get what I'm saying? And then knowing when to tap out and when to go back in, and knowing when you haven't done enough. It takes a lot of I wouldn't say discernment. Like it just really does. And just being able to not going based on my feelings, but going based on my morals and values. Right. So in terms of my order of hierarchy, I tell people if you don't have your hierarchy together, then you have nothing. And so if I have not spent any time, first of all, if I want to work my business before my kids get up, I have to get up. I have to get up because I cannot be trying to work my business when my kids get up. They're so trifling. Like it really is. And it's your fault because you didn't get up in the morning. And so now I'm making them I'm making them get the butt end of the stick because I didn't get up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I have that window in the morning where, like, especially when I used to actually take trade to school, it was that window where I would have my phone, but my phone would not be a priority. You know what I'm saying? And so I may throw up a post because that's something that's brainless to me. Use the reshare story app, which is something that's really easy, things like that. But when it takes concentration, like trying to really get up, I may get up, post to post, even just in the midst of this. He could be sitting here playing and I can get up, post to post. But when I know I'm getting up my 10 host to post and I'm writing down and I'm using my paper, that's office time. And so it's prioritizing, Travia. Like it's legit prioritizing and leaving the okie doke like at the door. And I think a lot of times people just want to be all over the place and think it's okay. It's not okay. You really have to take it serious that you're a real business owner. And I think it's how you view yourself, how you view your business, and how you view your life. And I think my life is just really important to me. And I know what It Works can give my life, my family. And so I just, I mean, it's the same thing. I got to my grandma's house yesterday to do her hair. Before I started her hair, I sat down, I charted, I sent some messages before I started doing my grandma's hair. Same thing when I got done doing her hair. I replied to my messages. Like it's a priority to me.
Mommy's is a puzzle.
Good job.
I love that. And this is great. So I want to ask you, like, and this is one of our questions too. What point in your business did you know you needed to work on yourself more? But I want to add to that because I think it goes really well with what you were just saying. Like, one thing I admire about you so much, Rachel, is just your ability. And I know it's because you have clear vision. Like, you have clear vision. You know what you want and you know why you want it, hence why you tell us to journal on that all the time. But that level of hierarchy and priority is so important. So how did you get to a place in your life where you were okay as a woman? Because I had to go through this being young, Black in college, where I had to be okay with, I'm not going out every weekend, I'm not missing Zooms to go to a party. So how did you get in this place to where you valued your business that much, and again with this question, that you knew you needed to work on yourself? But hopefully I worded that. It was a lot.
No, it
but,
makes sense. I feel like it was back in 2015 when I first pulled out the art of the Brene Brown, Daring Greatly. I just felt like there was just a block, right? Like it was just this block, and I just didn't know how to get past it. People just were irritating me. I was irritated. I don't know. It was just I felt like there was more that I could do. It couldn't be that everybody was just irritating me so much.
Mommy needs milk.
Okay, thank you. It couldn't be that everybody was just getting on my nerves so much. There had to be I had to take some responsibility for it. You know what I'm saying? And so I decided to take some responsibility. That was really what it all boiled down to. I think personal development and deciding to work on yourself is taking some responsibility to say, like, hey, I might be part of the problem. And if I'm part of the problem, I can 100% be part of the solution. And I think from jump, we try to get people on that ASAP because you are part of your solution. And if you don't take that ownership to get your own freedom, then you'll never be free.
That's facts. That's really, really good. That's really good. So when and why did you decide that you wanted to start a YouTube channel? This is really good. I know you're bringing back those car chronicles. I remember those Periscope days. Okay, like, when did you decide you were starting a YouTube channel? And I want to throw some spice on this question. I know a lot of new distributors, they like to come into this business and make that business page, or they like to start these new avenues and different things like that. So I want to know, when did you decide to make your channel, and how do you discern when it's the right time to start doing those things?
Yeah, so my business, my YouTube initially just started so that the team could see things later, because there weren't things like YouTube. I mean, hey, you have to hush. There weren't things like, what did I say? There weren't things like Facebook where you could go live. You couldn't even go live on Facebook back in the day. So that was our way for the team to see things later. And so when we did things on Google Hangouts and things like that, I was able to put it up so that they would be able to see the recording. So that was the only reason why I started a YouTube page. And then the team, as they began to be in different settings with me, and they would get this information, or we would be having a conversation. It was like, oh, can you say that again? I'd love to send that to my distributor later. That's where it evolved. So it was never just this thing that I'm going to start a YouTube page. Like, it was just me being me and having a vault, essentially, so that people could use it to better their business. It was never with me in mind. It was always with other people in mind.
That's good.
I don't necessarily think that you need a business page unless you're not for this business, like not for this business at all, because people buy people, they want to see your journey. And I mean, granted, if you are going to be a social media influencer, just period, then more power to you. But most people are coming to this because they just want extra money, not because they're trying to get famous, you know. And I'm not here to get famous. I'm here to help people change their life and be an inspiration to people as they're changing their life by just being me.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm very into the social media stuff, and I don't have a business page. Because like you said, people buy people, they don't buy product. And you know, you don't want that negative connotation. So that's good. So what are you currently reading and doing for your spiritual development this month?
So I'm reading the book of Nehemiah. Well, actually, we started with what's right before Nehemiah? Help me, Jesus, Lord. The book before Nehemiah. Hey, be quiet. And then Nehemiah. And then so I'm doing that with my Bible study crew. I'm still doing the Trustworthy Bible Study by Lisa Turkhurst. So that is a part of my spiritual development. And then let's see, I'm obsessed with John Hannah. So his oil is great. Okay, like his hey, come here. You have to go downstairs. Do you see this? You're being rude. Okay, go downstairs. You're too loud. He knows what that means because he always saying his brother is too loud. So you're too loud. Thank you. You don't like to be okay. Anyways, so John Hannah. So all things John Hannah. He has Bible study on Saturday nights. Like, he's just been blessing my spirit like never before. He's just been keeping me uplifted, as well as like my Wednesday Bible studies, my going to church on Sundays, getting my personal word that's prepared by my pastor, my bishop. And then, of course, you know, transformation, but that's just a little icing on the cake for me. So that's more so my spiritual development. For my personal development, I am reading right now. Of course, we're reading Necessary. And hold on, I got to get rid of him. Hold on, y'all.
Yes, this is so good. So if you are watching this live right now and you're getting some nuggets, drop a 1 in the chat. I can see you. Drop a 1. Let's give some heart, some love to Rachel, because this is really good. We still have some more main questions coming up. Let me plug in my phone so we don't lose any video, because we do not want my phone going dead. Okay. And hopefully when Rachel gets back, when I take out my headphones, y'all can hear me. If it's weird, let me know in the chat, because I just took out my headphones. I had to plug in my phone. I see some ones. Keep giving us ones. If it's good, give us ones. I feel like Hercules. Give us ones, y'all. This is fire. And if you have any last minute burning questions, you can drop them in the chat, or you can message me privately. I am manning everything right now on my computer if y'all see me looking off. But I'm so excited. I'm seeing it. I'm good. Thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie got my back. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. Yes to the ones. Yes. Awesome. I'm glad this is helpful. Okay.
All right, well, didn't get rid of him. So personal development, we are reading Necessary Endings. And then I actually just finished, I finally just finished The Gifts of Imperfection. He want me to knock him out. Listen, I know it's going on YouTube, but anyways. The Gifts of Imperfection. The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. That's one I just finished. I just finished. Hold on, there's another one. Let me get it for you guys. I'm actually going to start. Oh, that's great. I'm going to start one of the books that Kelsey had recommended for us. But hold on, let me tell you what else I'm reading. Oh, I just read this the other day. I read it again. I love this book. It's kind of it's a spiritual development. So it's called What Happens When Women Say Yes to God. It's by Lisa Turkhurst. I've read that book so many times, and it's a book that you could like binge in one day. It is so good. It's called What Happens When Women Say Yes to God. It's so good. And then I finished Ruthless Elimination of Hurry this month. That was mind blowing. So good. I did that one this month. And then I'm also reading The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster.
Okay, I've heard of that one. Oh, yeah, they're good. So, talking about books, and I want to hit on this because this was like one of my defining moments in the business. So, when it comes to, let's say you're a newbie on here watching, or you might have been in here a couple of years, you know, and your spiritual and personal development game is not on fleek, okay? It's like it's there, but it ain't. So, what would you say to somebody who's like, I'm in the business, I want to do well when it comes to personal and spiritual development? Like, how would you tell them to start? Right? Because like somebody, if you're like me, you're probably on the other end writing down all these books. You're going to get off of here and go on your Audible or Amazon Prime, and you're going to get them all, and it's going to look real nice sitting on your coffee table, and you're probably not going to open one, or you're going to open them all and not emulate anything. So can you kind of speak to that, Rachel, for that person and give
100%. 100%. You start with GoPro by Eric Worre, like hands down. You have to understand your profession and what you've gotten into. So that is number one, GoPro by Eric Worre. And then from there, I think it honestly depends. Like, I think it's great to get recommendations from people sometimes. Like, if I'm in a place, like, first of all, when people ask what I'm reading, it's really interesting to me because you don't have all of the personal development books that I've read. So the foundation that I'm reading on has so many books before it. So in order for you to even understand the ruthless elimination of hurry, you got to understand grace over grind. You got to understand 24/6. You got to there's so many books that I've read before I've read Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. So it's such a good book. So I would say after you read GoPro, then you kind of just see what area that you're really, really, really battling. What area are you battling? And you can ask your upline for a recommendation, but you really could, I mean, if you want to be honest with yourself, you know, like, I'm lazy. I'm tired all the time. I don't know. I care about what people think too much. And you could literally go to Google and say, what personal development book is good for somebody who cares about what people think too much? Like, for real, all of that. And book recommendations will come up and you can find them that way. But there are a lot of books that we've already read that we may be able to point you in the right direction. And so I think that's number one. You read GoPro and then you go into a book that focuses on the area that you need to grow in the most. Because if you start to break those barriers that are, so for me, it was the vulnerability. It was being vulnerable, because in order for me to connect with thousands, I was going to have to let, no, we're not doing Google right now. If in order for me to connect with all these thousands of people, I had to let some walls down. I had to be honest about where I was and where I was going and the things that have happened to me in my life. And there was no way for me to open up my mouth and share my testimony, to share my story without that art of vulnerability. And so I think it's just to each his own.
This is so good, y'all. They're enjoying it now. So I'm just letting you know. Oh, man. Okay, so we have lots of questions.
Come on, I'm here for it.
I'm picking. Okay, so the next question would be this. Even Rachel, have you ever felt like quitting? And how often do you get discouraged now?
Of course I have. Everybody's thought about quitting. There's been... Okay, thank you. There's been several pivotal moments in my life or in my business where I've wanted to quit. And you just gotta have the right people around you. If I would have went and told the wrong person that, I wouldn't be here. So that was that first question. So how often say it again, how often
do you get discouraged? How often do you get discouraged now?
Oh, like weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You want more from that?
I think that looking at the questions and where they're coming from, I think that people think that you don't experience what we experience, and sometimes they're looking for that magical answer. But I think you answered it perfectly. I mean, we're human, so even you, you get discouraged. But what do you do in those moments when you're feeling discouraged? The next question is, what keeps you motivated and inspired to keep going?
Can you hear us? He loud?
I can hear you. He's fine.
Yeah, don't be lying. If he loud,
he's fine. He's not.
All right. So, living a life of gratitude will change your life. I think a lot of times what happens is when people come to this business, they think it is their blue pill. You know, they think it's if I drink this blue pill, then my life will just be automatically all better. And that's not how it is. That's not how it is. And so how do I stay motivated and inspired? Is that what you said? Okay. So gratitude is number one. Trey, put him down. My day off is number two. My personal and spiritual development. So my alone time in the morning is so important. My circle, it matters. Like my circle is so important. And I'll even say this, like what's happened with my circle is that it's put me in a position to where you want to come say hi. My circle is
hi Zaire.
Mommy daycare today. What happened with my circle is that it's legit become some people who were in your circle before can't handle where you're going, and so they can't handle what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And so you can't share that with them. And I know a lot of times in the beginning, I used to try to make my team my circle, and they couldn't be it. They couldn't be my circle. And that's something that you just gotta accept and move forward with. You just gotta accept the fact that these are people that you get to pour into their lives, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can give to you. They can help you. They can help fill your cup, but they're not your main source of your circle. So I would say that would be prayer and supplication, okay? And I would say, for those of y'all who are at conference in this year, and when I was on stage, we were talking about the money mindset, and even previous to that, fasting has changed my life. I've always known about fasting. I've done it since I started this business. I did it a lot of times because I just wasn't clear. Why was God blessing me the way that he was blessing me? I was doing a lot. Like I was eating my fair share, okay, and drinking my fair share. And so it was like I needed to put myself, not on a diet, but I just needed some spiritual discipline. And so we probably started fasting as a team maybe about 5 years ago. Like it's been a while. And 2020, it just called to me like this is going to be a season of a shift where you're going to have to be in control. And if it took all 2020 for God to put me in full control to where I could say no to what I needed to say no to, then this was going to be something that changed my entire life. And so that as well, I needed to starve my flesh because I know where God is taking me, that I cannot give in to what I want all the time. And it's crazy because I was driving the other day and I was like, man, like the world is full of things to want, where coveting is what the Bible calls it, like wanting and desiring what other people may have, or all these things. There's a new car. It's like new cars come out every year. Like there's a new everything. Like everything is just, we live in a communist, is that right? What world? I think communism, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know what I mean, consumers. And so there's always something, but KFC, new sandwich. Like it's always, there's always going to be something new. And if you don't put yourself in the right position, your motivation and inspiration will be external. And if you have external motivation and inspiration, then you will be like a leaf that has been disconnected from a tree, or a boat that is floating in a river with no anchor. And every time the wind blows, you're going to blow that way.
Yeah.
Like if McDonald's come out with a new sandwich, you're going to eat it. Like if McRib comes back, you be like, I need to go get that right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need that. And so for me, I had to have these internal things that inspired me and motivated me. So I had to switch it up. So it's not the money anymore per se. It's the freedom. It's the ability to pay my debt off. It's the ability to go down in the middle of the day and go do my grandma's hair. It's the ability to fill my tank up. It's the ability to, if God says, Rachel, do it, I know, like I have the confidence that, and it's in my bank account, that I could pay for the I ain't got to be like, God said pay for their groceries. You be like, well, God, how much is it? I don't even got that much in my account. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the ability to say, yes, Lord, like I will pay for that. It's the ability to bless others. It's the ability to get people that things that they always wanted, but they don't necessarily have the finances to get, but God bless me with the way to get it to them. You know, it's just the ability to do things that I never thought that I could ever do with his help. And it's not easy. It's not easy by any means, but I mean, God perfects what's imperfect within us. He perfects it. And so that's kind of, I mean, that's a long explanation. Yeah. That's a long explanation.
Yeah, no, it was good. So many people are getting stuff from this. So that I think you explained it perfectly. So I'm gonna jump into, you better speak to me. I'm gonna jump into some like more businessy work questions as far as team stuff, downline stuff. So first things first, how do you deal with a teammate? It said downline, but a teammate or downline distributors, whomever, who are in their feelings. So yeah, I remember this, Living Beyond Your Feelings, that book in that era and all of that. But I kind of want you to talk to that. You know, how do you deal with, I guess, saying those hard things and dealing with someone who may not be receptive? Because that's kind of what in your feelings is, like getting in your feelings when you're being told about yourself.
All right. I'm the messenger. I'm the messenger. I'm not the person receiving the message. The only person that I can control is the message that comes out of my mouth and how I deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they receive it or not is not my business. And I think that was just releasing the responsibility. I used to always worry about like what people thought, but you'll never be able to be a person of authority if you're always worried about what other people think. You won't. It's like a parent. Like, all right, my kid did something that they had no business doing. Am I going to discipline them? Or am I just going to be like, oh, baby, you shouldn't have done that. No, you're going to get disciplined. And at the end of the day, it makes you check your heart. And I'll tell you this has been a big thing that's grown within me through my parenting as I've become a better woman. Like, am I disciplining because I'm pissed off? Like I want to knock you out? Or am I disciplining because it's the right thing to do as a parent? And I treat it the same way when it comes to my business. Am I writing you back because I'm pissed off and I want you to get a piece of my mind? Or am I writing you back because this is going to help you and you need to hear it? And I'm releasing myself of whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a big difference. And so for me, it's just, I am the person who has realized that I would love for people to just be open and honest with me. Like that is so important. That is so special when somebody can be open and honest with you about like, and only somebody who cares about you is going to do it. And I know it takes that spirit of discernment because some people are just not ready to hear certain things, but God is never going to put you out there to where you look bad. And a lot of times if you didn't open up your mouth, that person would look bad or eventually it would come back on you.
It's good.
And so why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you say it if it's something that's going to help them anyway?
Ooh, you getting lots of hearts. This is good. Yeah.
So I think, I guess that's the biggest thing for me. So I don't know.
Good. That's good. So people quit. People quit. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with somebody? I'm going to read the question. How do you deal with somebody who quits your team and they were a major component to your promotion? So I would say, how do you deal with somebody quitting that you maybe have grown close to, or maybe you invested that time in? Because I know this is something I just had to deal with, and I had to hit you up about those feelings and like how to navigate through them. So when somebody quits, like, what is your mental process for that? I guess now, and I'll say before, like if you can bring your mind back to like those early years in your business.
So it just depends on the caliber of the person. But you have to literally go through the grieving process depending on how close you are to them. It's like, I mean, this sounds so bad, but it's almost like they're dead to you. Like and I'm not saying that in terms of like being like, bro, you dead to me. Like, it's you literally have to go through the grieving process so that you can get to the release. But to be honest, I think a lot of times too, people take too much on their business partners in the beginning because you ain't got no friends, or you've never had genuine friends, and so now you have this genuine community, and you lose somebody. It's like, wait, what? You know. Because it's like I was so genuine. Like, why would you walk away from something like this? You know. But I think it just takes the time to, it's immaturity. Like with maturity, it becomes easier and easier, and it's more so like sad for the person. But it's like, I'll be here and I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, it's crazy. Somebody sent me a message earlier and they was like, I signed 3 DTs, but I got to sign 3 more because the people aren't moving yet. And I was like, I said, yeah, you got it. You have to be what's the word? You have to be patient with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took you 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to finally start working your business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, mourn them and keep it moving. And let me tell you this. Nobody is ever, it's almost like, how can I put this? Okay. It's almost like, do you believe that God would put somebody in your life to stop you from reaching the goals that you want to reach?
That's good.
And if you know that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and God only comes to add life and life more abundantly, then you should know that's a tactic of the enemy, especially if it's somebody who you had a real close relationship with. That's nothing but the devil. But God will use this to fine tune me so that I will be able to deal with this I mean, not that it won't hurt, but I'll be able to move past it quicker. It won't take me out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, who are you showing up for? And who are you here for? And why are you doing this? So when I've lost people who, I wouldn't even say, here's the thing. If you lose somebody that's pivotal to your promotion, that's not real. They were never pivotal to your promotion. You just weren't willing to be honest with the fact that they weren't really in the loop. Everybody who's left, I already knew they was leaving. Like that is real. Everybody who has ever left my business or quit, I already knew they had quit prior to. Now I can pray God bring them back around the corner, but if God allows it to end, why am I trying to fix what God is letting walk away? That's not smart. That's like a relationship with a bad boyfriend who beats you. Because 9 times out of 10, if you actually look at their character and the things that they've been doing, they weren't really doing the stuff that they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. So in the midst of getting what you want out of the business, so I want you to think back to like promotion seasons, running for these big markers. How are you patient with your team and still come out victorious?
So there's 2 different Rachels to this, okay? So, because in order to be successful in this business, you almost have to be beastly. Like that's real. Like you have to be beastly. And the way I see it is you have to find a pace that you can run at, because if you don't find a pace that you can run at, you're going to stop and you're going to fall down the hill like that. And that's what happens to a lot of people. You run for one season instead of having these long, decisive strides forward. And so ask your question again, because I want to make sure I answer it.
Yeah, so how are you patient with your team and still come out victorious?
So you have to believe in them and push them before they're ready to believe and push themselves. And that takes patience. It's almost like a child who's learning how to walk. Now, Zaire We didn't have to do much because he wanted to keep up with his brothers. But Zayden, he had to have those sessions where I was encouraging him over and over again. If he stood up, it was a clap, it was encouragement. So then he began to believe that he could stand up on his own. If he took one step, oh my gosh, we just went crazy, right? And as we began to keep incentivizing the things that we desired, he began to build his confidence to believe that he could walk. And so it's the same thing with the business. If they're posting really good, tell them, yes, their DMs might be real dry, but don't take away the fact that they're posting really good, because if they can build on that, then you can build their confidence to actually walk into where they need to go. Now on the flip side, you have to you have to still push them to actually get results. So if they're posting but they're not, and you have to be creative. So if they're posting and they're not bringing in volume the way that you need them to bring in volume, that might be a 400 box. And this is where it comes, where are you really spending the time with your enroller to really strategize and figure out what it is that you're doing, because you may be trying to build somebody to Ruby that is totally a 400 box, and they're not going to give you any effort, and now you're mad because you're enrolling all the loyal customers. You get what I'm saying? And now you're frustrated because you need help. And so, like me in the beginning, and still now, okay, but in the beginning, like I enrolled like crazy, and I enrolled distributors like crazy, which I still do now. Actually, my distributor enrollments are actually better now than they were back then. But that's crazy. So I built my husband because I can enroll. But if somebody can't enroll, then maybe you shouldn't sign your husband, because you're going to have to build them, you know? And so if you're not an enroller, now you mad about 2 auto shipments, you know? So to answer the question, you have to have somebody who you're rocking with and who's willing to rock with you. And you just rock with that person and push them because they're willing to be pushed. It would be different if Zayden fell out on his face every single time that I tried to get him to stand up. Eventually, you're going to be like, well, crawl for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be like, okay, we're kind of over this. But if they're giving you something to work with, then you want to add more to it by hyping them up and pushing them forward. And that's how you reach your goals. But so you have to discern it. You have to discern, is this person not ready? And the only way you can discern it is if you push them. Of course, God will tell you. But when you push somebody, they'll respond. And how they respond, you have to believe them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give an example.
Keep giving me
for
this
example,
juice.
like with Stephanie, like I'm gonna use Stephanie as an example.
Yeah.
Had a whole corona. Now, if she would have stopped showing up and stopped answering my text messages, I would have had to pivot. But she kept showing up. And so I knew that was somebody that would ride with me. And so guess what? She ride for me, I'm gonna ride for her. And so we're gonna finish it out. So when obstacles hit, what do the people around you do? If something bad happens, how do people respond? You have to believe them.
That's so good. Yes, good. So what does showing up look like? I want to milk this topic, okay? Not only for myself, but for everybody else. But what does showing up look like to you? And what does how they respond? Okay. So what does showing up look like to you? And what does that, like, they're giving me something? Like, what does that look like in green terms? So if you can break it down, like, this is what it looks like.
So showing up to me is being willing to listen to, responsive to my coaching. That is the number one way to show up for me. So
Amen.
When I give you, I have to take it back to the whole trainer ordeal. When I give you things to do, recommendations, things that I can see that'll change your business, and you actually do them and follow through, and maybe not do them for just 1 week, but you actually like implement them into your life, you're coachable. You're showing up. When you get on calls and I don't have to ask, I don't have to remind you all the time, you're showing up for your own self. And like reaching out for one-to-ones and wanting to connect, wanting the coaching, things, the high communication. Like my runners will always communicate with me, like always. They will always reach out and talk to me. They have questions. They don't care about bothering me. Like they want all my juice in order to go forth and go forward. So for me, that's what showing up looks like. And there's a difference between somebody showing up and got a complaint all the time or just want to share about their life. opposed to somebody who's like, all right, this is what I'm doing, this is what's working, this is what's not working, I need more clarity on this. Like they're willing to ask for what they need, and like Cami says, they're willing to advocate for themselves. They advocate for themselves.
That was good. That was great. So, okay, I guess my next question, looking through Messenger, yeah, they said Zaire. No, he did not just fall asleep. That's so cute. Okay, so have you ever experienced any pushback from your mentees?
Girl. I've been here
I want you to answer this though.
I've been here for 7.5 years. Every single one of my mentees have given me pushback. Every last one of them. Every one in some shape or form have given me a pushback. And a lot of times it's either because they don't trust me or they don't trust themselves. That's it.
And how do you deal, like, feeling wise, like on your end, how do you deal with that? Like, not to get flustered or not to get in your own head. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So,
like, how do you keep that place where you're good and you can still do it, if that makes sense? Oh, sorry.
Okay. I thought Zayden was in my pantry by himself. Lord. So, oh no, go ahead. You're good. Can you close the door? Thank you. So how do I deal with pushback? I stand firm, but it depends on the circumstance. You want to give me an example? Because it really depends. What environment are we in?
Yep,
are we in a one-to-one? Are we in a group meeting? Like, what are we in? And I'm gonna tell y'all this partially has to do with my professional background. So I actually used to lead groups. Oh, Jesus. I've been a group leader. Like, I've been somebody who led groups or people who have mental health problems, mental health adults, and then also kids who had substance abuse problems, and then also kids who were locked up in a maximum security juvenile rehabilitation center, whatever, it was in jail. But so yes, this is kind of part of my background. So give me
I'll give you a scenario. So let's say I am, but I'm your brand new distributor and you're telling me to write my 30s list. And I'm like, not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm telling you that I don't know nobody and I don't want to bug people. Like, everything you asked me to do, I just kind of got like a rebuttal for you. But I'm cute. I can make good pictures, but I'm not really being coachable. So what would you do with someone like me?
So hold on, I'm trying to lay my baby down.
Yeah. So like, you see the potential.
Oh no, I get it. So it depends, because potential means nothing if it's not willing to be used. So if I have a relationship with that person, I'm very straightforward. So I'm gonna be like, stop playing and write the list, because that's just the kind of person that Rachel is.
Yeah.
But if you are like giving me pushback, like I legit don't know anybody, I may stop and be like, what's wrong? Like, are you afraid? Like, I know that there's something else that's going on inside. Are you already fearful that they'll say no? Like, are you skipping over people? But so it really just depends on how the person responds to me. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, I'm not really answering your question. So,
I feel like you are, because I know what you mean, but I guess for somebody watching and asking this, like, what does that conversation look like when you're at a point to where, okay, this person's not really being coachable? Because we've had those distributors, they're not being coachable, but that auto ship runs and they're upset, and all of these things are happening. How do you professionally deal with that or have those hard conversations? Maybe that's better.
It's not hard. I think that's number one. Understanding that it's not a hard conversation. It's just really a matter of, you didn't do your training. You didn't show up, because I knew I was doing. It's kind of what I was saying earlier today or yesterday. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And I think that's on you. You have to always be the thermostat, not the thermometer. You cannot be the thermometer, because if you're the thermometer, then they can point the finger. But if you're the thermostat, regardless of whether they show up, regardless of what they do, if you're willing to do that, then it it will always point back to them. Because if you would have read, if you would have got on newbie orientation, if you would have just went through the launch pad, if you would have, I don't know, check your email, like you're grown. And so at this point, it's like, hey, you know, you should maybe use the product, but if not, I could show you how to return it, because I don't feel any type of way at all. Because listen, when an auto ship runs that I didn't want to run, what do? Just call them and tell them, hey, take that off. Like, you're grown. Like, do what you got to do, you know? But at the end of the day, you sign up in this business because you want to change your life. And so don't not get what you came here for. And that was bad English. But you came here for something greater. And a lot of people never get started. Like, the percentage of people that start the business is crazy. It's crazy how many people never start the business because one thing discouraged them and deterred them. And so they decided to give up on something that could change their whole life. Don't even use their sample credits because they're in their feelings and they feel like they can't, or they've been beat up so much in life that they feel like they can't even trust the people that they said yes to, because so many people have done them wrong. And so we're here to teach them that there's something different. And so I maintain who I am regardless of how bipolar people are, because they can be very bipolar.
Preach it. Yes, yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, I think that helps. That answers the question. So I have just a couple more. I know we're coming up on time. If we had time, I don't know. I'm just robbing you all your little time. But this next question, what would you say to somebody? They said specifically who's been in for 3 years. But what would you say to somebody who's in the business? They're past, I would say, like month 1 or 2, and they're not completing their steps to success. What would you say to them? Any encouraging words?
You don't know what you want? Well, that might not sound encouraging. You need to get clear on what you want and why you're here. And then whatever is making you comfortable in your life and in your business needs to go. Y'all, the only reason we have TVs in our house is because we have kids. If you watch TV and you're not successful in this business, your TV needs to go. Like, it needs to go. What is distracting you from moving forward in your business? You got to figure it out and you have to eliminate it. Where is your discipline? Because a lot of times we reward ourselves, and a lot of times like, well, it's not really a reward. Yeah, it is. A nap is a reward. Yeah, lounging on the couch, that's a reward. Like, people who go to work every day can't do that. You know, like, there's certain Netflix, that's a reward. Maybe you need to turn your Netflix off. Maybe then you'd have money to run your auto ship. Like, there's certain things that people, like, I don't know about, I don't know a lot of shows. I didn't even know if The Real was still on, because I don't watch TV. I only watch the, hold on, guys.
This is good. Y'all still there? I know y'all are there. You guys are loving this. I see the hearts. It makes me happy. Listen, she's momming and doing this interview right now, and it's just bomb. It's just bomb, and I'm so happy to be doing this. All things are possible, y'all. No excuses. Like, she's getting it done. Rachel's had a full day. I've been stalking her like Instagram stories, and she's holding down fort without hubby. Like, y'all, it can be done. So good. So good. So good. We're going to need a shirt that says so good, Rachel.
You're so funny.
Okay, she's back.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Sorry. So,
steps to success.
My 14-year-old. Jesus. Yes. So, no, I remember what I was saying. So, I think the big thing for me is when you get clear on where it is that you're going, you'll move different. And the only reason why you're still in the midst of us is because you know there's something special here. You wouldn't still be here. And so why not start to look within and see what's really going on with you, and then actually making it happen. Like, it's okay to be different. And I think that's the biggest thing that you maybe haven't embraced, that you're different. And until you fully embrace the differentness, you're not going to be able to walk it out. You can't walk out what you're not willing to embrace. And so it reminds me of like people being an undercover rap girl. I remember made a post a while ago about being an undercover rap girl, but not being willing to like being undercover, right? You want to make real rap girl money, but you want to be undercover. Like you have to be proud of what God has placed before you. And so I don't know if it's your spouse, I don't know if it's your cousins, I don't know, and they don't have to understand. Y'all, I was at my grandma's house yesterday, and my uncle was like, "Oh, I'm not even gonna talk about what my uncle said. I was just grateful to see him. Okay, gratitude." But he was saying some off the wall stuff. And I was just like, it ain't even none of your business. But when I come pay your mama house off and you can't pay it off, then you'll understand. You know what I'm saying? And it's not in a place of resentment. It's just, it's not for you to understand. God didn't give you this vision. He didn't give you this vehicle. You could always join me, but he didn't give it to you. So why am I sitting here trying to convince you to understand? Your actions will convince people of what this business can do. And it doesn't matter if nobody joins you. That's why we have this community. And when I say join you, like people that you know, like this is why this community is here. Because there are going to be a whole bunch of people who don't understand. There's going to be a whole bunch of people who don't understand. So I think it's a matter of getting real clear and getting disciplined. Like you need some discipline for real. Like stop watching TV, stop hanging with certain people, put yourself in constant communication, and you probably need a support group, almost like going to AA. You know, like you need AA because you've accumulated all these bad habits over all these years, and you need to get rid of them. You know, like what do you do when you're bored? I was looking at I was looking at something from like way back in the day. And I was eating some tricks, drinking a platinum Bud Light. Like that was my night chill. Like for real, probably watching Breon play the game. Like it was like, why? Like it was so crazy, like where I was. And so when you know better, the question is, are you actually doing better? And are you choosing to do better every single day? Like, are there some months you run your auto shipment and some months you push it to the 15th? Like, it's almost like somebody who doesn't pay their tithes when they get paid. Like, as their first fruits. You don't get his business enough for it to pay you. And so it's just about getting serious and getting clear. Like, I'm for real. Like, you got to let go. Like, you have to let go of something. You're too heavy. I have a YouTube that says that. You're too heavy. You really are. You have all this stuff and you're trying to go to the next level, but it's not going to happen because of the weight that is holding you down. What is the weight? Your people, your family, your man. Some of y'all might be in relationships where you're not married and you probably need to let it go for where God wants to take you. I don't know. I don't know what it is for you, but I bet you God had already told you. And it's crazy because how Caretha was praying this morning, that obedience is real. And as soon as you're obedient, he can immediately step in and change your situation and your circumstance. But you want to make an extra $2,000 a month. And I'm not saying that God, you have to be perfect for God to bless you. But there are certain things that he might block it because it might not bless you because of the things that you're still holding on to. Like I said a while ago on Thursday, my right. Like you mess around and start making extra money big time and you'll give it away. You won't do what God told you to do with it. Your mama them could call and be like, oh, you got a bonus at work? I need $1,000. My furnace went out. Okay, that's a lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, go. It wasn't for, God didn't bless me to give you a new furnace. I mean, he might have, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say you've been here for 3 years and you're not where you want to be. It's because you're the song by Jonathan McReynolds, Cycles. That's you. That's your life. That's your business. That's your life and your business. Because I guarantee if you're not where you are in your business after 3 years, you're not where you are in your life. You're not where you want to be in your life. You're not at your weight goal because you keep, and that goes back to fasting, man. Like you gotta starve your flesh. Stop allowing your wants and desires to run your life. Like you are distractible. Like you are highly distractible. I was listening to Brene Brown. I don't even remember what I was listening to. And she was talking about how, she was saying how, like God told her to get rid of her TVs. And so she did for 2 years. And she said when she turned the TV on, she wasn't drawn into it like it used to be. It didn't run her anymore. It wasn't like she had to watch something or she needed to record her favorite shows. Like I have to binge those. Like my friends be like, "Oh, you seen Grace?" I be like, "Girl, I ain't seen it." And then when I finally see it, I got to sit down and watch like 5 episodes to catch up. You know, because it's not a high priority. It's just a leisurely thing.
I'm taking all the notes. Okay. That was good. That was really helpful. So, couple more. I know
Okay.
we're like almost done.
I'm good. I'm I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm actually good until I got
Okay.
time.
Awesome. Awesome. So, how do you initiate giving total control to God when you are still in survival mode?
What does that even mean?
How do you initiate giving total control to God when you are still in survival mode?
If you are in
What I
survive,
take from
if
this
you're in
question,
survive, oh, go ahead.
yeah, so I guess what they're saying with this question is like, how do you get in this place where you believe God, you trust God, you can put it all in his hands, but you're desperate? That's kind of what it looks like
It's
to
a
me.
choice. It's
Mm-hmm. It
believing. It's
is.
believing God's word. Like it's literally believing God. I trust you. And what people don't understand is if you are in a place of desperation, that is the best place to give your whole life to Him, because He will prove to you what kind of God He is. He will prove to you what kind of Father He is. It's a direct opportunity for God to teach you His true character.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's just, you just do it. It's a choice, because it's almost like um you said, how do you give your total trust to God when you're struggling? How do you go to the club and you're still struggling? How do you buy an outfit that you ain't got no business when you're still struggling? How do you take your kids to the movies and you're still struggling? Like it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, like it's just a choice, because I know that God can do so much more with my little than I can. So
Mm-hmm.
paying your tithes, it's a choice. It's a priority. And Travia, if I could just be completely honest, I don't know who in the world asked this, but when people struggle, it's normally their fault. It's the
Mm-hmm.
mindset. I challenge all of y'all for 21 days. Don't eat out. Don't eat out for 21 days. I mean nothing. No McDonald's, no running to Walmart and picking up some wings from the you know what I'm talking about? From the
Little wing bar.
yep. Like 21 days. 21 days. We're just not disciplined. It has nothing to do with legit struggling. You could probably live at your means. But
Mm-hmm.
with our poverty mindset, like eat noodles if you got to. I mean, I don't want you to be unhealthy because it's stuff you can't eat. But do it. I bet you that you won't be saying like I don't got no money. You're gonna be like, dang, I got more money than I thought I would. And maybe in the midst of that, you might need to go on a spending fast. Like 21 days. Don't use Amazon Prime. 21 days. Like you might need to go on a 21-day fast where you just don't spend money outside of necessities and bills. Because you spend money, say no to people. Yes, it's okay to say no to people. Hey Rachel, you going? No.
Nope. Mm-hmm.
Hey Rachel, you putting in? No.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay to do that, and I think it's a matter of being willing to get your power back. You know what I'm saying, Trevia? Like you got to
Mm-hmm.
take your power back, and
Mm-hmm.
there are so many things that have our power, and fast food is one of them. Because that was real life for us. Because right now I could be like, babe, on the way home, pick up.
Yeah.
Like it's food in the house. Like
Mm-hmm.
do it. 21 days of no eating out, and no Amazon Prime, and no leisurely Walmart. If y'all got a Target, maybe you need to do Target pickup and just get the things you need. Don't go inside of a store. You shouldn't be inside stores, no way. So don't go inside a store where you be like, "Ooh, that would be nice. Let me try that. Ooh, that's new." Like you, that's go back to your fleshly. Like you fleshly.
Mm-hmm. Man, I keep saying I got 2 more questions, but I'm looking at the feedback in the chat, and I want to give our team what they need. I promise you we're almost done. So let's talk about like work, straight up work, because I'm looking at the chat. They feeling you, Rachel, but let's talk about the work. So what are the things that have gotten you to ambassador outside of the personal spiritual development and stuff, like the mechanics, I would say? So we know we got PMF, SDPD, but for somebody who's looking to promote, what should they be doing, and how does that daily accountability look like?
So of course it's a little different now, of course, with the pandemic going on. But I would say, if you're serious about your business, I think it comes to a matter of working your business and not thinking about working your business.
Yeah.
If you can get into that place where you actually work your business, this in knowing that this business is 90% mental, and so the mental capacity, the mental strength of your team is going to determine whether your team succeeds, right? So an underdog can come in and overperform if they mentally believe that they can.
Yeah.
And so your belief, as well as instilling that belief in your squad, is going to be so important to being successful. Jesus. So getting up in the morning, there's so much more to your Jesus time. That my Jesus time is a direct business decision along with my relationship with Christ. Like that is a key to my business. Being able to have my mind right and being able to clear myself to where I can actually hear the Holy Spirit speak to me throughout my day, and I can discern the voice of God, like, and in knowing God's word and putting on my armor, right? Putting on my armor in the morning is a direct reflection of my work. Because if I can keep my mental space clear, I can know, okay, let me send 15, 20 follow-ups right quick. Okay, let me send, I need to get up 10 host the posts. Like it makes it to where my vision is clear and I can be more focused. And there's something special when you have clarity. So belief is number one. That belief thing it will change your whole business. If you don't believe it, that's why your team is not moving and shaking. And it's probably why you're not signing any customers or distributors, because you don't believe God can do it for you, which is so like, it's such false humility. It really is. Like it's not cute to think like that.
Yeah.
Because God will use anybody. But now you're making yourself like, what's the word? You're making yourself somebody that God can't use. Like you're discounting yourself.
Discrediting. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like God wants to use you. But you keep putting yourself in a position like, oh, maybe for her, but God, not for me. Like, that's not that. So now everything that he was going to do through you in his business, he got to find somebody else, because you got this false humility thing going on. Your journey, you just have to fight for it. You have to fight for it. And you're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, but still in line with your morals and values. You're going to have to hear things about yourself that you would normally cuss your mama out for telling you. You would cuss your siblings out. You would cuss your cousin out. You would cuss anybody out for telling you about yourself. But here in this safe space, you're going to take it and then you're going to apply it. And you're going to change your life. And as you change your life, you're going to change other people's lives. So you have to grow if you're going to be here. And so if you want to, for me personally, when I'm in a position to where I'm going to the next level, number one, I make my mind up and I believe it. And then I instill that in other people and I hold them accountable to what they said they were going to do along with me. Oh, yeah, you going diamond? Yeah, you are. Okay. So every day, regardless of what it may look like in E-Suite, regardless of what may be going on, I'm instilling that belief in them because I believe that they can do it. Because even if they're not doing the things that they need to do in order to make it happen, it takes 1 second for everything to switch and for them to start believing it and then for them to start producing results. When I went Ambassador Diamond, like that, I always tell people, Ambassador Diamond was God's promotion, like just period. I mean, all of them are God's promotion, but that one, that was 100% just me walking in obedience, 100%. And I'm talking about 100, not 99, 100% walking in obedience. The peace that I had during that entire promotion.
Oh yeah.
The strategies that were coming up, like the things that I was trying, it was 100% all him. And it was me completely submitting my business to him and saying, hey, if you want me to go ambassador, you're going to have to take this. And so I woke up. He gave me the strength. I was dealing with so much spiritual warfare that it was crazy. And I was 4 months pregnant and nobody knew. Like,
right,
it was
there.
crazy. It was crazy. But at the end of the day, I believed what God said. I believed what God said. I believed what God said, and I took that to the bank, and I just did my work. Like, you know what to do: sign customers and loyal customers. However, all the ways, and the power is in the follow up. So do the bulk of the follow up, and just make sure you're getting in front of new people every single day. And so people think it's this strategy. Did you send 150,000 messages? Like, my 150,000 messages may not go where your 150,000 messages will go. Like, it's not the same, but you know that you got to sign customers and sign distributors. So waking up, looking at that chart every single morning, charting things out, and then connecting with the people on the chart, like connecting with them, like, hey boo, you at 274, like all you need is one some, I don't know, I can't do that, whatever you need to get to the 400 club. I'm so excited to support you in that today. Then you can kind of gauge, okay, is she feeling me? Is she responding? Is she willing to, is she down to does she want to be in 400? Or is it more so, girl, I'm like, all right, I got to take it on, and this is a box that I'm going to have to fill by any means necessary, or I need to replace the person if I really want this, right? And so it's just that clear tunnel vision, and just knowing that and believing it. That's number one, Travia. Like, that's the real deal. Like, most people don't even believe it. They don't believe it. Oh, God can do it for her, but not me. Like, that's crazy. He's put you in a place right now where it's a level playing field. It's a level playing field. That's why I love It Works. Because the color of my skin did not determine how much I got paid. It didn't determine whether I got the job or not. It didn't determine how they treated me, kinda. You know, people still treat people a certain type of way, but I can always go find 7 billion people in the world.
Right.
So it's just figuring it out. So, level playing field, why not? Why wouldn't I overcome? Why wouldn't I focus? Why wouldn't I get what I came here for? Right? Plus some, you know? So I hope that, I mean, that wasn't direct, but
I feel like I'm at conference. Okay, listen. And Breon told me, he said, ask all the questions, Travia. So I got permission from your man.
Okay.
Now I know I'm in the clear. I was like,
Okay.
I don't want to mess up lunch. You know what I'm saying?
Shut up.
So if you could start all over again, we're going to bring it home, though. These questions were great. I hope y'all are taking notes. If you could start all over again, what would you do differently?
Just the money. I mean, it was. There's a lot of things that we could have done with our money in the beginning. So as we started to make a lot of money, I wish I would have paid off more. I mean, there were some needs that we did actually have, and we blessed a lot of people. You know, we got both of our moms a car, and being able to, you know, travel the world. And I'm glad we actually did it, because now we got all these kids. And so Brianna and I, we went all over, from Jamaica to Mexico to Turks and Caicos to back to Mexico to, like, we spent so much time together. We hopping on planes at just a second's notice and going to Atlanta, and like, we would do all the things, but I would have paid off more debt. I would be debt free.
Yeah. Brian talking about some lunch, shaking my
I would be debt free. That's the only. That's literally the only thing that I would have done differently.
That's good. And you know what? And I'm just gonna say it, like, you know, God has a reason for all things, which we know. And I really feel like, you know, being debt free is a goal for like a lot of people. But I admired watching your journey, and he will take you through these things, even if it's like, you know, creating new memories and all of those different situations and experiences like you and Breon had, because that inspires somebody like me to believe it's possible. Like, I've never been out of the country. I've never been on any luxurious trips. I really started traveling, honestly, when I started the business, because we used to, pre-COVID, you know, we could go here and there.
All the time.
Watching your story, your journey, that 2015 Rachel, 2016 Rachel,
Listen.
like, all of that was for a reason. So, you know, I'm kind of glad y'all got debt to pay still, so you can keep making lots of money and showing me more stuff. So that is great. That's great. Well, Rachel, anything else that you want to give the team? We know, and I wrote this down, the 29th is coming. The 29th is
Yeah.
coming, and I'm going double diamond. I'm helping so many people promote. I know we have a lot of people on the squad promoting. They're shouting it out, you know. So what advice or encouragement would you give us, and just really like that kick in the butt? Because what's today, the 18th? We got about, 10 days to really move and shake. So what would you say?
So I think the number one thing is just to get clear. Like if you've never went Ruby, go Ruby. You know, make that your focus and pull that chart out. Like pull the chart out, pull the Ruby chart out, and just find 3 people. And if you feel some type of way, like call your enroller and be like, I need you to help me get my whole mind together. And then on top of that, like show up. Like there are so many opportunities to get your mind right. Like so many. And if you're not utilizing the resources that are available to you, if you're not utilizing the resources that are available to you, then that's a personal thing. It's because you don't.
Yeah.
It's because you don't really want it. That's real. You don't really want it, and I think a lot of times people aren't willing to say that. They're not willing to say that. They're not willing to say, you know what? Maybe I don't really want it. Maybe just the idea of it sounds nice. You know. And I think once you get past that and you actually put yourself in a position to where it's like, nah, I really want this. Like, I really want this. And then when you really want it, what do? You start moving towards it. Like, if I'm telling you, I want to go get my PhD, what am I going to do? I'm going to go research it. I'm going to hand in an application. I'm going to ask people for letters of recommendation. I'm going to go and take the GRE. Like, I'm going to start to move. I'm going to start moving my feet towards the goal that I say that I want. And so if I'm saying I want to go Ruby, what am I going to do? I'm going to print the chart. I'm going to see how much volume I need. I'm going to see how much volume I have. And then I'm going to start moving my feet. What does that mean? I'm going to connect with this person, see if we can collaboratively come together and bring this volume in to make this goal happen. And if the people underneath you are not working, like here's the thing, what do we do every single month? 6 and 3. We sign 6 loyal customers and 3 distributors. And so your ultimate goal, regardless of what the people on your chart are already doing, is to bring in your 6 and 3, because that will help build it. Then the people underneath you, those 300 boxes that are going, that are just need to be the 300, the 400 boxes who are underneath you, who need to be at 400, you can now start working on them going executive. And so now they're pushing for their promotion. And as they push for their promotion, that's going to make you walk right into Ruby. So you always want to focus forward. A lot of times people have, like I said yesterday, just that small picture. But when you start to look at the big picture, let's just say you pull out a diamond chart. If you start to work towards a diamond chart and fill in a diamond chart and actually help the people who are on your chart get the shopping spree, you're going to go Ruby. Like you're going to go Ruby as you're working towards helping other people change their life, which is why I have that training about triple diamond on our, on my YouTube page. Because if you're looking at people as you're helping them change their life, $40 is not why people signed up. It's not. People didn't sign up for $40. Yeah. So as you help them tap into their network, that'll change your whole life. So listen, I say this, like, first of all, you're going to want to be a diamond above. For whatever they're bringing, you're going to want to be a diamond and above. And if right now, if you don't look diamond in the face and stop thinking that it's so scary, because it's not, it's 15 people. Back in my day, it was 24. It was 24 people for me to go diamond. And here I am. So how dare you complain about 15? Mm-hmm. How dare you complain about God blessing you with the ability to go diamond with 24 people and less volume? So at this point right now, like, suck it up. Put yourself in the right mindset. I don't know what you got to go listen to, Eric Thomas. I don't know, like, whoever you got to go listen to get your mind and to get your head in the game. Do not miss out on what God has in front of us. Like, it's going to be legit. But I don't know about nobody else on here. I'm going to benefit from it.
Okay.
I am. Hands down, I'm going to benefit from it. I don't know if it's a personally enrolled Ruby bonus, because, you know, they've been talking about this 1 mission, 1,000 rubies. So maybe it's got something to do with personally enrolled rubies. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what the coding is that they're giving, but I'm going to benefit from it.
That's good.
And so stop putting yourself in a position to where you always missing out and you always feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
Listen, if like for example, we was talking about the Peloton app today, and if everybody on Peloton and getting sexy, but I'm in my feelings because then nobody invite me to get in there, instead of being like, bro, I'm getting up in there, I'm just I'm gonna invite myself, I'm getting in that. What we doing today? Put myself in the winning seat. I'm putting myself in the winning circle. I'm putting myself in the winner circle.
Yeah.
I sit with winners. I have winners' numbers in my phone. A lot of, almost like half the people that are at the premiere, I have their personal numbers. Those are my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep myself in a winner's circle.
Yeah.
I want to be influenced by the greats. And being influenced by the greats is getting into the right rooms. And as you show up, you'll be in the right rooms. So, yep, that's it.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, was this good or good? Okay. I'm excited for you to catch the replay. Rachel, thank you for doing this. This rocked my socks. Okay. And hopefully everybody else was blessed by it. I know for sure they got an hour and 20 minutes of some juice. So y'all go back and watch the replay. Yay. Thank you, Rachel.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
y'all.